week's edition, I have been given the task of identifying indicators of churn, who is at risk of leaving, what behaviors predict drop-off. Churn, when you say customer churn simply means customer leaving or staying. So I have been given the task of identifying factors that contribute to customer staying or leaving. So the first thing I did was bring in a visual which is called the bar charts, just like you can see on my screen here. And the total number of customers that, based on my analysis, are not going to churn is 2,915, and the total number of customers who are at risk of churning is 1,494. I went further to carry out an analysis using my RFM that was done earlier this month, which is the recency, frequency, and monetary analysis, to see how this can contribute to churning. If the very first one is the recency, I dealt with the recency, and this visual here we can see here is box plots. Box plots is a visual that is mostly used for numerical values, and I feel like it is the best for this situation because you are dealing with numbers. So we can see here that zero means they are not going to churn, and 1 means they are going to churn. That means they are going to leave. You can see that the amount of people that are going to leave here is a wider range than those people that are going to stay. So if you are speaking of recency, customers with bigger recency, like customers that it's been long since they visited the store, they have higher tendency of leaving. They have higher tendencies of churning. So you need to pay attention to that. When it's been long since a customer visits the store, they are at risk of leaving. And then I went for that to do that of frequency. And then this here that we can see is an outlier, but we'll not go into that. But this is actually a customer information, but it is a widespread. That's one of the reasons why I use the box plots, because it's going to capture everything, no matter the value. So this frequency is how many times, how much they frequent at the store. So we can see here that the ones with higher frequency has a larger range of not churning. So the customers that don't repeat, they don't come back over and over again. You can see that the frequency is 4, 5. You can see here. Ones that come over and over again, there is a tendency of them not churning. So the higher the frequency, the lower the rates of churning. And then another feature I brought in was the monetary aspect, and this is the customer spending. So the higher the amount the customer spend, the lower the probability of them churning. We can see the higher range here. We can see the spread here. So those are the reasons why I use this box plot. We can see that the customer that spent 105 million right here is not going to churn. Those that predicts drop off are the high recency, the low frequency, the low monetary value, the high return ratio, and the low average order value. So if the customer, it's been long since they came to the store, there is highest probability that they are going to churn, and they don't come frequently, and people that don't even spend enough in the store, that means their investments, permit me to say that, it is not in the store, so they don't have a commitment to the store, so there is higher probability of them churning. So the recommendations I came up with is, first one is to build a predictive churn system. This is something I can do, by the way, and this system is supposed to cite customers that are going to churn based on the past information, based on the past data sets. So for future references, we know customers that are going to churn, so we are able to address them before they churn. That is the very first recommendation, which is very, very important, that I would recommend. And then the second one is to offer discounts or loyal rewards to customers who haven't purchased in 30 to 60 days, because this churn was built using the recency of 90 days, 3 months. So you can reach out to these customers and then remind them, give them discounts, let them know that we know that they are our customers. And then number 3 is identify customers with high return ratios. So these customers, we want to know why they are returning. Is it because they've got trust issues? Is it because they are not satisfied? We need to know why, so that we can reduce that and then reduce the churning from their end. And then we need to improve product descriptions. This is something that e-commerce stores, permit me to say that, fall short of most times. There are times we upload products, but then the description is not matching the product, or is misleading, or it is not clear enough. And at the end of the day, it brings about bad reviews or customers returning products. So we need to address that. We need to make sure that our descriptions are top notch. They are what we are presenting. So we would avoid situations whereby customers will not be satisfied because they are getting what they are seeing. And then we need to continuously monitor customers with rising recency. falling frequency or high returns. We are not meant to abandon our data. We have to keep in tab. We have to keep tabs of all of these customers so that we are able to battle every thing, every problem as it comes. And then this is the final one that I'll be saying, which was mentioned last week, is using bundling and cross-selling strategies to increase engagement. This can never get old, so we can do that to improve